Welcome, everybody, to Morel's Man Cave, where we keep the party going. Today's topic is one of the most important topics that need to be talked about, especially around the holiday season or just in general for a day to day life basis. Today's topic is about addiction. Now, when you hear the word addiction, one of the first things that comes to your mind might be alcohol. I got cousin Larry, I got Auntie Susan, I have brother, sister, cousin, mom, dad that's addicted to alcohol. You're like, man, this is pretty darn bad. And there are steps to it. There is drug anonymous. There is an intervention. Hide the alcohol from your cousins or your aunt, the family member or friend, whoever the person may be. Like, let me hide this alcohol from them. Cool. That's the alcohol side of things. Now, let's go to the drug side of the house. Another addiction is drugs, and everybody knows about drugs, whether that be from marijuana, from crack, meth, needles, popping pills. There's multiple ways of talking about drugs. You might have an aunt, cousin, sister, brother, friend who's addicted to alcohol and addicted to drugs. Everybody's in total agreement. Yes, those two are drugs, and they're not the best for the majority of people. Cool. There's one drug that no one really talks about in true debt. That drug it's called food. Let's really break that one down right fast. Everybody talks about an addiction to alcohol. This person drinks too much. When they see that bottle, they keep on going until they get drunk and they're sloppy. And the side effects is they're not the same person they was before they started drinking. Then you got drugs. They do whatever type of drug they do. Same side effects later on in life about what they do and how they do it. Cool. No one really checks anybody about food addiction. There's no reason that a 6-year-old kid should be weighing 120 pounds. There's no reason for a woman who is 5'2" that weighs 220 pounds. How did these things happen? It's an addiction. I call it more of a quiet addiction because no one wants to say, stop eating, you're doing too much. The human body was designed for people to be a certain height and a certain weight. This is just biology. The human heart is a certain size. It doesn't matter if you're big, it doesn't matter if you're small. The human heart is the human heart. It doesn't get bigger because you're bigger. Same thing with your liver, your stomach, so forth, so on. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, maybe I'm wrong with this, but I think I'm hitting 1,000 on this one because the biggest addiction in America is food. When people get depressed, what the first thing they do? They go to food. When you see a person eat food, depending on who they are, they get a little small dance going on, like, oh, snap, this cake, pie, piece of chicken, pizza, whatever the food might be, makes them happy. And as long as they're happy, leave them alone. But me, I'm looking at this drug called food and this addiction. I'm looking at the long play. And the long play is it's not your best interest to not control your habit or your addiction to drugs or to food. Your addiction to food is very important. My intent with this video is to break down a couple of things from just the numbers part of it. I want to show you guys in black and white the numbers, how important it is to get off of the addiction of food. I'm not saying don't eat. I'm not saying starve yourself. What I'm saying is if everybody recognizes the side effects of alcoholism, everybody knows an alcoholic in the family, a friend, a cousin, whatever it may have been. Everybody kind of steers away from the alcoholic. The drug user, oh man, this person's always high. This person's always asking for money. They might steal some property, whatever it may have been. And everybody understands drugs. Everybody understands alcoholism. But no one, the elephant in the room, I would say, would be food. Now, what I want to do right fast is I don't want to just talk about it. I really want to be about it. And I have this clip right fast I want to share with everybody. It's going to be a real good of what's really going on here in the world. Shout out to Queen. What's the thing here? what's her name? Queen of Accountability. Great videos, great content for people who want to really have accountability. Let's watch the video. I'm going to be quiet for a second. Right there. That is insane. A bunch of women who are getting on the scale to weigh to see if a woman weighs over 300 pounds, she gets to eat food for free. What are we doing? And they're happy to get on the scale. The funny part about this clip is that there's so many women and men, let's go break down for both, that they're overweight. Especially from a woman's point of view, your business card is your beauty, not your weight. And to be 300 pounds as a woman, very few women are over 6'8". You should never be that big. And the point of this video, yet again, is to talk about an addiction. The addiction is food. Everybody understands alcohol. Everybody, yeah, I understand alcohol, so forth, so on. Let's get an intervention. Get this person off of alcohol. Cool. Person on drugs. Man, this person's using drugs. The side effects is X, Y, Z, so forth, so on, blah, blah, blah. Let's help this person get off of drugs. But no one's talking about food. No one's talking about food. And there should be no reason that so many people here in America are overweight. And I get it. The BMI scale. Let's break that down right fast. Let's really, really, really go into it, because I want to ensure that you guys are not just hearing me talk, but I want to give you guys some stats of stuff. So over here, I have a couple slides for you guys right fast. As always, I just put in 3 simple Google searches. The first thing is I said percentage of people being overweight age. Let's break it down. Overweight obesity rate rises in the U.S. with middle-aged adults 40 to 59 often having the highest rates around 46% compared to young adults 35 to 40% and older adults around 39%. Throughout recent data shows middle-aged adults consistently higher for obese. Globally, 43% of adults were overweight in 2022, with rates increasing with age, peaking around middle age before slightly declining, showing a significant rise in childhood obesity too. Let's go down a little bit on this thing. Overall, adults around 40.3 have obesity, while around 73.6 are overweight or obese. Let's break that down. The average 5'2" woman is overweight, not obese, overweight. When you see a woman who is, to say, hypothetically 120 pounds, what's usually what people tell them? Oh my God, girl, you need to eat more. Nah, she's actually normal. Let's back it up a second right fast. Let's go back to make sure I get you guys on my screen. Let's back it up a second. Let's go back to the 1960s, 1950s, 1940s. The 1900s was a great time. The average woman was actually on par with her weight. There was some exceptions to the rule. By all means, there's some heavier set women, so forth, so on. But in general, women were normal heights and normal weights. But at some point with the introduction of feminism, oh my God, I can do what I want to do. I can be as big as I want to be. And How are those results really going out right now? There's a reason the show 600-Pound Life gets so many views because everybody's laughing at these people. Like, how did they get to be so big? But if you take out the 600 pounders was the super exception to the rule, look at the average human being. How much do they weigh? How much do they eat? How much do you not talk about what they got going on? So got another quick slide right fast. So I'm all about the data. The data is going to always win, not just me yapping, so forth, so on. I'll go to another slide right fast. Slide, percentage of people being overweight. Globally, around 43% of Americans, of adults, were overweight in 2022, with 16% having obesity. That's crazy. Think about that. Basically, 1 out of every 2 people is overweight. There's average height and weight, one category. There's overweight, a whole nother category. And then there's obese. There are 3 different categories. Which one do you fit in? And I understand what you're saying. Morel, you're talking about some BMI doesn't make any sense, so forth, so on. I get it. Let's say a woman is 5'6" and she's 155 pounds, but she's muscular. She's the exception to the rule. But the rule is she's textbook-wise overweight. I'm not saying the BMI is correct. I'm saying it's a gauge. But there's no reason to be 43% of American adults are overweight. My next slide I have here is this is an important slide here that I want to harp on. While exact percentages vary by study and definition, excess weight obesity is linked to significantly more mortality, with estimates suggesting around 1 in 6 U.S. deaths are related to it. 1 in 6 people are related to some kind of obesity death. Did you ever know it was that high? Me just doing a little bit of research, when I saw that number, I'm like, I didn't know it was that high. It's not that you're big and you pass away. The whole point of it is, like, let's say you have high cholesterol. Let's say you have diabetes. You say you have heart attack. The heart is only so big. It can only do so much pumping of the blood. And the bigger you get, unless that you keep your health up to par, here it is. And understand, there's DNA that you may have a chance of high blood pressure and so forth, so on. My point of this video is, have you even looked at yourself in the mirror and been like, you know what? I can do more. I can do more. That's the point of this video. I want you guys to look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I can do more. And I want to go to my last slide over here. Pretty darn important. This is the BMI slide. So, height and weight chart. If a woman is 4'10", her normal weight should be 91 to 115 pounds. But I'm never going to use that. I'm going to use the normal height for a woman. Normal woman is around 5'3", 5'4". I'm going to use 5'4" in this example. So if a woman is 5'4", she should weigh 110 to 144 pounds. But Morel, the food is so good. They got so many drugs in it. They got so much protein in it and labels and so forth, whatever it may have been. Cool. What I'm saying is you shouldn't be heavy. It's too heavy. Now remember, 110 to 140, 110 pounds to 144 is a woman who is 5'4". Now, overweight category is 145 to 173. Right here, it's clear as day on the slide. I'm showing it to you guys. That's overweight for a woman who's 5'4". Am I saying 145 pounds is big? No. But I will say this: if a woman's 5'4", she shouldn't be 173 pounds. Let's go to obesity for a woman who's 5'4", 174 pounds, basically plus. That's obese. I don't make the rules, ladies and gentlemen. Your body is designed in a certain way. Let's use men, for example. The average man is around 5'8", 5'9". I'm going to use 5'8" in this example. A man who's 5'8" should weigh between 125 and 163 pounds. The key word is should be. Now, to get to the overweight category, this person between 164 to 196 at 5'8", and to be considered to be obese would be 197 to 257. Now, understand, some people are muscular. I get it. They're the exception to the rule. But if you look at a normal person who is 5'8" and weighs 200 pounds plus, if they're not muscular, they're obese. It's a medical term for a reason. Let's go to a 6-footer. If a guy is 6 foot tall, his normal weight should be between 140 to 183. To be overweight, this person is 184 to 220. To be obese would be 220 to 287. I didn't make these numbers up. These numbers are coming from scientific research data, and I get it. But Morel, there's fast food on every corner. Grandmother be cooking, mama be cooking. I love DoorDash, so forth, so on. I'm never saying don't eat, but when you really break it down, there's 3 addictions that people talk about. 2 of them talk about drugs all day long. Like, man, drugs. My auntie's on it, my cousins on it, my friends on it, whatever it may have been. Cool. Drugs. Oh my God, this person's on drugs. Let's get them in detox, so forth, so on, blah, blah, blah. How many people really talk to their sisters, cousins, brothers, and ask them that, hey, I'm not saying put the food down. What I am saying is maybe you want to eat that food in moderation. Just moderation. Hey, today, pig out. Tomorrow, have a balance. But most importantly, have a plan. There was a slide that I deleted it, so forth, so on. But when I say 1 in 6 people die from obesity, it is what it is. If the average person on record is living to be, the keyword's average, living between like 73 years old, there's a huge drop between a person who is obese living to be 73 years old and a person who is not obese. In the previous slide that I had showed you guys, I should have broken it down a little bit more, but I'm about to end this video, is that people between 18 to like 25 years old, let's say they're 38% obese. Cool, whatever. The next thing is, let's say 25 to like 35. That percentage of people obese is like 48%. Almost 50% of people in that age group is like obese. I mean, are overweight. Overweight, big difference. And then once you get past in your 50s, you start losing the weight. Why you start losing the weight in your 50s? Because you start realizing like, oh, snap, I'm trying to live as long as possible. Why are you waiting till 50 years old to start changing your health? Why are we not talking about food addiction as soon as possible? You're not going to help them all. Let's be bluntly honest. But my point of this video is to show you guys that we talk about 2 addictions. We talk about drugs, talk about alcohol all day, every day. But no one's talking about a food addiction. Let's talk about it. I just showed you guys the numbers, and I'll say it again. 1 in 6 people are dying from obesity, overweightness. And it's not exactly that. It can be cholesterol. It can be diabetes. It can be a heart attack. It can be multiple health conditions, but those health conditions come from a person being overweight or obese. 43% of all Americans are overweight. I'm born and raised in New Orleans. It's a very heavier set city. I get it. That food is delicious. It's food on every corner, and everybody knows how to cook it. We got to eat it in moderation, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, my whole point of this podcast is to break down conversations that need to be had. This is a great conversation. Everybody talks about drugs. Everybody talks about alcohol, but is anybody really breaking down food? And remember, 1 in 6 deaths are because of obesity. With that being said, like, subscribe, and most importantly, comment to the channel. Let's keep the party going.